Hello, and welcome to another episode of Bored and Annoyed. I am Home at the Movies.
And I'm Jackson.
And today we're discussing Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. What a pile of shit.
It was terrible.
Bored and Annoyed.
But we'll save that for later.
Yeah. So, news, as always.
Yeah.
Disney counter-offered, God damn, I can't even remember who else was, Comcast. Yeah, so they counter-offered Comcast, $71.5 billion.
Okay.
Is what they counter-offered with, and Fox accepted that. So, pending some sort of legal mumbo-jumbo, they now own Fox.
You know, it's funny, you mentioned that kind of money, and it makes those dinosaurs seem like they were pretty cheap in Fallen Kingdom.
Right? Selling them for like $10 million?
Yeah.
Like, what?
Yeah, it makes no sense. But
okay. Yeah. You can't even wait to talk about it.
it's
just itching.
Stupid.
Yeah. So kind of cool. We got a Creed 2 trailer. He's fighting Ivan Drago's son.
His son, yeah. Let's hope that it keeps it a little more grounded than Rocky 4 was. Though.
Right. What was it? Which was the one where they were running slow motion on the beach? Him and Apollo.
I am not sure which one that was, but Rocky 4 is the one with Drago, and that's got a, basically they have the montage scene where, Ivan Drago's like got all this high tech gear that he's working with and shit.
Right.
And that might have been the one because Rocky's working out, like in nature. And stuff. Yeah.
Yep.
Although I think Apollo might have been dead by then. Or was that at the beginning of the movie that Apollo got killed?
Drago kills him.
Correct.
So, I don't know. How did you like the new trailer though?
I think it looks good. I mean, the first one's awesome. So as long as everybody's involved.
Yeah, I mean, I think we talked about it. We both kind of agreed that Sylvester Stallone not getting an Oscar for that performance.
That's who I was hoping would win.
Yeah, that was the one that was a standout performance for me as far as supporting actor.
Yeah, he was. I mean, it just goes to show how good he can be.
Absolutely.
Everybody likes to give him shit because he's kind of action man.
Yeah. That was more Arnold.
Yeah, but whatever. Yeah. Same shit. Same complaints towards Sylvester.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it looks good. The only thing that has me a little worried about it is the fact that Ryan Coogler isn't coming back to direct.
Okay.
So
I wasn't aware of that.
Yeah, that's got me, I'm cautiously optimistic with this.
It's kind of funny. It reminds me of coming out this weekend. So next week's episode, I would assume, is the Sicario sequel. And Denis, I'm going to butcher his name.
Villeneuve.
There you go. You can do it for me. He didn't come back. So I'm a little concerned about that one too.
Well, you can kind of tell with the Rotten Tomatoes score. I think that's at like a 72 or a 76.
So the first one was like knock it out of the park, 90-something%.
Yep.
Right.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, that's the Villeneuve effect.
Right, but I really like that Taylor Sheridan, and he wrote them both. And he wrote Wind River and Hell or High Water.
Yep.
Awesome movies. So
still haven't seen Hell or High Water, but Wind River is amazing, though.
So I scratched one that I've been being told I needed to see off my list.
Yeah,
so you need to scratch Hell or High Water off yours.
Right. Okay. Well, why don't you just? What was the one that was scratched off your list?
Her.
Okay, so Scarlett Johansson, Joaquin Phoenix.
Yep. So I'm late to the party here because it came out 5 years ago, I believe.
Something like that.
Yeah, and it had Chris Pratt was in it. I didn't expect that.
Wait, he was?
Yeah, he plays like the dorky friend of his in The Office where he like writes the cards or whatever. He does.
Really? My God, I don't remember that at all.
Well, it's kind of funny. It's probably one of those where nobody knew him yet, so he just like gets erased from your memory. But then Amy Adams is also in it. I didn't realize she was in it.
Yeah, I knew she was in it.
But yeah, I was pretty disappointed in the movie.
Really?
Yeah, I thought it was kind of boring, a little creepy.
I'm gonna say you're wrong.
Yeah, no, I thought it was really creepy. Almost as creepy as AI.
AI. Which one was that?
Oh, come on
right.
now.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Yeah. No, I really liked the movie. I thought Her was great.
Did you really?
I
Okay.
thought it was
God,
great.
you had me fucking going there.
No, I thought it was great. I thought it was, as far as like artificial intelligence, like relationship movie could be, like it wasn't creepy at all. That's what surprised me.
Right.
Because like the relationship seemed completely natural. I was like sad for him at parts, because sad for her at parts. And I'm sitting here thinking to myself like, wow, this is not what I expected.
Yeah.
Like I didn't think it would take that tone where it's like, this isn't supposed to be weird. I mean, he's like telling people that he's dating an operating system, and it's just like, okay, like people are doing that now.
Yeah. I liked the look of the future.
Oh, it was great. Yeah. Everybody's kind of dressed like a hipster. It's almost like okay, this isn't exactly how people in the 60s dressed, but it's just close enough where it's like familiar.
Yeah. It reminded me of like, maybe if like the entire world became an iStore. Yeah.
Yeah, it totally was. It totally was. Yeah, Apple Store.
Yes. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, you'd
Apple
have to
Store.
make your appointment everywhere. Oh, God damn those places. But yeah, no, I thought it was fantastic, actually. I was extremely impressed with it. I was upset that I hadn't seen it sooner, but now I've seen it.
Yeah, I thought Scarlett Johansson was great. I mean, Joaquin Phoenix is always great.
Yeah, he's just awesome.
Yeah.
He's awesome. I really did not expect to be so emotionally invested in their relationship. It was a little trippy there for a minute.
And it's weird because there's the part of your brain that's like, this isn't natural, this is kind of weird, but at the same time you're watching it transpire and you're like, but this is so wholesome and seems good, at least for a while.
Yeah, no, and even like towards the end, I started to realize that like all this shit that's happening between the two of them has happened to me or feels familiar to me from past relationships. It was like they nailed it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like the feeling of hopelessness and, his giddiness, everything.
Yeah.
They nailed it.
Yeah,
I thought it was great.
Yeah, you're in over your head.
Right.
Somebody's growing apart from you. It was really, really well done.
Yes. So yeah, that one would get like an A from me, I think. It was really good. I liked it a lot.
Yeah, it was one of the highlight movies of that year for me. But yeah, we'll get back into the news real quick. Let's talk about something that was never a highlight except for maybe back in like 92 or something.
Okay.
The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is getting a reboot.
Another reboot.
Yes. Still being produced by Dune Films.
So Michael Bay's company.
Yes. And the writer of Bad Words, the Jason Bateman movie about the spelling bee.
I haven't seen that one.
I haven't seen it either. It didn't look very good.
But that's who's doing it?
That's who's writing it.
All right.
So, thoughts?
Meh. Don't care. I wasted my time watching not the sequel, but the latest first TMNT movie, and it was trash.
Yep. First one's trash. I would argue the second one is worse.
Okay.
I just don't have any faith in Michael Bay to... I think Michael Bay can probably do a decent enough job making a movie that's set a little bit more in reality.
Okay. He can't. But
I heard...
Like Bad Boys or something?
No.
I mean, that's what I think of.
Well, Bad Boys 1 is actually pretty good.
I mean, it was good at the time because everybody was, wasn't sick of him yet.
Right. What else did he do? The Rock...
The Island, too, he did.
Did he do The Island with Ewan McGregor?
And
he did
Scarlett
that one?
Johansson, yeah. Yeah, because he reused...
Wait, I thought that was Charlize Theron.
No.
Oh, okay.
No,
I haven't seen it in years.
That was like one of the first times I saw her. I remember he reused a car chase scene and added Transformers into it for like the third
I do remember that.
Yeah.
Wow, I should have known.
Yeah.
But what was it, 39 Hours with John Krasinski?
I haven't seen 13 Hours.
13
I haven't
hours.
seen it. I heard it's good, though.
That's what I heard, too.
Yeah, so I'm
like,
check that one out.
maybe he can do good things in reality, but I think the second you introduce something strange that makes the world a little bit cartoonish, he goes way too far, and he doesn't look at it like a real movie, I feel.
Sure.
So, I mean, him being in charge of a Ninja Turtles movie at all, especially given the fact that he did 2 and they were terrible.
Well, he didn't direct them, though.
No,
correct?
but he was a producer, and they have his fingerprints all over them.
Okay.
I mean,
Yeah,
you
like
saw
that,
the first one.
Yeah, that snow hill chase scene in the first one.
Christ.
Yeah. Yeah, they're bad. The design was terrible.
Yeah.
I know in the first one they just butchered Shredder.
Yep.
It was just a joke.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, they butchered Shredder. The characters, the Ninja Turtles were... they didn't strike the balances like the original film from 90 or 92. I forget when it came out. But that balance of like stupidity and immaturity, but also sincerity.
Yeah, the first one was actually pretty good.
Yeah, it's actually a very good movie.
Yeah, it's good.
I think it's one of the most underrated films of all time, if I'm honest.
Oh, wow.
It's got like a 49% on Rotten Tomatoes.
I'm not going there.
You're not going to say it's one of the most underrated?
No.
I mean, that movie does not deserve a 49%.
No, it's pretty good. It's got like an emotional core to it.
It's got an emotional core. The writing is fantastic. It's on my sort of like yearly watch list because it's just written so well.
Jeez.
The one-liners are fucking amazing.
You guys can send hate tweets to @BoredAnnoyed to tell Alex how wrong he is about how good TMNT is.
Or you can follow me on Twitter at Homb at the Movies, Home with a B instead of an E.
There you go.
You guys can tweet at me and send me all the love for being right about the Ninja Turtle movie.
There you go.
Speaking of superhero movies, we got the title for the Spider-Man Homecoming sequel, which is Spider-Man Far From Home.
You know, my first thought was like, well, wasn't that Spider-Man death devastating in Infinity War? They've got the actor 2 months later like, we're making the next one.
Yep.
And yeah, we don't even have the conclusion of whatever the fuck happened to him in this one.
Well, I'm not going to say that's his fault.
Well, right. But I'm just saying
Sony announced the release date like 6 months or a year ago or some shit.
Well, yeah, either way. It's like, okay, well, there goes that.
Yeah.
There goes anyone who was holding out hope that they had a reason to actually be sad.
Right.
It's officially squashed now.
I mean, I still hold on to the idea that they could do something different, very weird, like Spider-Man exists, but now he exists in a different universe than the regular Avengers. Maybe that's why he's far from home.
Yeah, I doubt it. But
I mean,
sure.
I doubt it too, because in this one, it's supposed to be that he's based in Europe.
No, you got to think at the end of Infinity War 2, I'm just going to call it that for now, that they're going to kind of wrap up how everybody who comes back and all that shit.
Right. I just hope they don't bring everybody back, you know?
I agreed completely.
Other upcoming films, the Yoda voice actor, was it Frank Oz?
Frank Oz.
Yeah. So Frank Oz went out and said that they are not making a solo Yoda movie.
Han Solo and Yoda team up movie? Is that what you're talking about?
No, a Yoda origin film. Apparently they're not doing that.
Okay.
Not sure if I believe them.
I mean, maybe they'll do it eventually. At some point, they're going to do it.
Right.
They're going to do everything.
Right. Well, that reminds, we've been, ever since Solo failed, there's been all these rumors about they're going back to the drawing board. Apparently, they don't want to hire up-and-coming directors anymore. They want to hire established ones. So there's a lot being said, but none of it is coming from Lucasfilm. So I'd imagine they're still probably reeling a little bit from Solo, and they haven't figured out what they're going to do yet.
God, every time I hear anything, it sounds terrible.
Yeah. Right?
Like, we're just going to use established directors.
Right.
Well, I suppose Rian Johnson did screw the pooch with The Last Jedi, but I mean, I'd still let everybody in to make Star Wars. I don't give a shit.
Well, they're just not good.
Or direct it anyway.
Right. Well, apparently Kathleen Kennedy is just bad at figuring out what the creative vision is with the directors before they get on set, because she fired Lord and Miller. She fired, what was the guy behind Chronicle?
Oh, I don't know. Is that who was going to do 9?
I believe he was going to, no, it was Colin Trevorrow was going to do 9.
Oh, and the Jurassic World brainiac.
Yeah, and he made some terrible movie. I think it's called Book of Henry. Yeah, Book of Henry.
Haven't seen that.
Apparently it's awful. And they were like, yep, no.
Okay.
But I mean, it's like, maybe get on the same page with your directors before you just say, yeah, you sound good. You're cheap as fuck.
Yeah.
I don't know.
She just sucks. I'm sorry.
She just doesn't seem very adept at the job, if I'm honest.
Well, I mean,
not everybody can be a Kevin Feige.
We could do a better job than her.
Probably. I don't even think that's arrogant. I really don't.
Yeah, what else we got?
I think that's basically about it. I mean, we got the box office for the weekend. Jurassic World did 148 million.
Yeah, so it overshot the latest projection, but it didn't come close to the first movie, correct?
Yeah, it was 60 million shy of
yeah, it was like 500 something the first one.
Yeah,
so that sounds about
60.
right.
Yeah, 60 million shy of the first one. I mean, that was to be expected.
Yeah,
I'm a little shocked that it beat projections, considering it's got a bad Rotten Tomatoes score and spoilers, we hated it.
people just love their dinosaurs.
We need a rival dinosaur series, because if this is what's going to happen with Jurassic Park, I mean, come on, we gotta.
A rival dino series.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Here we go. I'm pitching this to you, Hollywood, and also to you, Jackson. So there was a series in the 80s, cartoon series called Dino Riders.
Are we talking like people on dinosaurs with like swords and guns or something?
People on dinosaurs. So, quick synopsis. There are two ships in space, and one is filled with bad guys and one is filled with good guys, and the good guys are trying to run away. And they open up a time portal, and both of their ships crash after they're going through the time portal. They land on Earth, and they can't get their ships to work, but they're still at war with each other. So they both come up with ways to enslave dinosaurs. The heroes have like little gem necklaces that allow them to talk empathically with the dinosaurs. So like, hey, Velociraptor, come and be my friend.
Okay.
And the bad guys have like these little things that they put on the dinosaurs' heads to control them. So yeah, there's your nostalgic dinosaur
People
series.
just love dinosaurs. Yeah, try it. What the hell?
Yeah. Fuck Jurassic Park. Not the first movie,
Well,
just the rest.
We're getting a third Jurassic World.
Yeah, based on
that's in the can.
It's at like 700 million worldwide, and it just
know.
came out in the U.S., so it's going to hit $1 billion. I mean, it would have to have a catastrophic implosion to not hit $1 billion at this point.
It does not deserve to hit $1 billion.
Nope.
It was fucking garbage.
Nope. Neither did Despicable Me 3. So.
Oh, you hate those Despicable Me.
Those movies are garbage.
But yeah, I'm not surprised that it crushed it. People just love that franchise. Kids love it. Kids probably love this new one. So yeah, parents take their kids are excited and happy, and yay, Jurassic World.
But yeah, that kind of does it for the news.
It for the news.
Little bit of a slow week, I would say. But we watched some other things other than Jurassic World.
Let's start with you and the TV show I know you said you watched. Let's just get that one out of the way. I know you enjoyed it, so.
So I watched Luke Cage Season 2.
And by the way, I'm just going to preface this by saying I haven't seen it, and I don't care if Alex spoils it for me. So if any of you listening are worried about having it spoiled, skip to the next timestamp, I'm assuming.
Actually, I'm not going to spoil it.
Okay.
I'm not going to spoil it because...
Damn it, I was kind of excited to hear
because Jackson and I agreed that he would watch at least a couple
episodes.
I'll
watch a few episodes. So I feel like I have to. I rather enjoyed the first season.
Yeah.
It was a lot like the other shows of theirs where it's really good for like 6 or 7 episodes and then it just tanks.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll probably watch the second one. Why not?
In this one, it's just... Okay, so you remember last week, I believe it was last week, we were talking about characters and business and how you can't just have characters walk into a room and talk and just sit on a couch and talk.
Sure,
because it's boring.
Yeah, it's boring. Yep.
That's what this show is.
So it's like a soap opera.
It's a soap opera, but it doesn't have enough story. I will say... And some people will say this is not fair for me to review the series if I did these things. But 2 episodes out of the 13 episodes, I fast-forwarded through 75% of this episode because I don't like almost any of the characters.
So you skipped... Hold on, let me get this straight. You skipped an episode and a half worth of content.
Yes.
Okay.
So far as you know. But the thing about skipping 75% of both of those episodes, I still knew everything that was going on. Because the characters are so boring and predictable, you don't need to see all their... You can fast forward through the scene, see how they're talking, and know exactly how that conversation is going. That's how boring it is. Now, the next day, because I really tried to just power through this, and it was tough.
Did you go back and watch the ones you...
Nope, no point, because I knew what was going on. I fell asleep for a full episode because it's so boring.
And you just, let me guess, you just didn't watch the episode?
I didn't watch the episode. I let it play. The next episode played. I knew exactly what was going on. I missed nothing.
So this is what happens when you insist on your shows being 13 episodes.
Yeah.
When you have 4 episodes worth of content.
Yeah, structurally, they're just so broken. I go to like Game of Thrones, Stranger Things, which have 10 episodes, and they're just so strongly structured. It's so obvious that like the first 3 episodes is like a first arc.
Sure.
You know,
every single Netflix show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, no, not the Netflix shows.
Just
on
period.
On Game of Thrones.
Oh, okay.
It's like, this is your first story arc as far as like it's your setup, it's your first act.
Okay, so it's a positive.
Yeah,
you're presenting it as a positive.
Absolutely, for Game of Thrones, for Stranger Things.
Because I was thinking Netflix superhero shows, what happens is you've got your first storyline and it goes, a few episodes in, and you just know when that's resolved. Like it seems to be the main plot of the show.
Yeah.
And then when that's resolved, some other dumb fuck thing we've got... Well, wait a minute. You're on episode 4, and you're looking at the amount of episodes. You're like, oh, well, this is stupid. Clearly this means nothing.
Yeah,
and we're gonna have to sit through 9 more episodes of this fucking show.
Yep.
So just get on with it.
It's so annoying because they try to have like an overarching story that goes from the beginning to the end of the series, but there are what are supposed to be cathartic moments. Your moments of triumph. But they're never they never coincide with your moments of like adversity and like your action sequences. So your action sequences are just boring because he's a bulletproof guy, and yet people still rush him because he's super strong. They still rush at him. They still try and shoot him. It's like, what the hell is wrong? Like, it's a city full of idiots. Oh, and that doesn't even bring me to the point that, okay, it's almost a crime show. It's not much of a superhero show. Even though I came to Netflix for a superhero show.
So basically, he's Superman, but he can't fly.
Yeah.
And you have people attacking him.
Yep.
And it's trying, like the first season, to be like this gritty crime gangster drama thing.
Yep.
And you're trying to watch something like fun and exciting because it's a superhero show.
Yeah. Well, and I'm fine with, crime drama. Love The Godfather. Goodfellas is an amazing movie. The Departed for a long time was one of my favorite movies.
Sure.
This is just not done well. It's not done interestingly. It's everything that you've seen before in gangster movies.
Okay.
But done poorly.
Yeah, well, it sounds like a standard Netflix TV series.
Well,
superhero TV series. Yeah.
Well, it just sounds like the Marvel ones at this point. They've just all Iron Fist was bad, Defenders was bad, Jessica Jones 2 was bad.
I haven't watched that, and I will not watch that. I did like Punisher. That's the last good one.
Yeah, that's the last good one. I'd say before that, most of Daredevil season 2 was good, which was like years ago.
It went off the rails.
Yeah. I still think that Daredevil is the gold standard for the Marvel shows.
Sure.
But this is just the action is shot poorly. There's no interesting choreography at all. These shows really need a bigger budget because they just look really cheap. There are times when Luke Cage goes through a wall and you can just tell it's just made out of like flimsy cardboard.
Like paper mache.
Yeah, it's awful. None of the characters have interesting arcs. Some of the characters, so you remember Shades from the first one? The good white dude with the glasses?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's terrible in this.
Okay.
I actually realized that he's probably just a bad actor. It's just...
my favorite character, my 2 favorite characters in the first one were the Oscar winner dude, as like the main bad guy, and then the crooked cop guy.
Oh, right.
Who was like in the movie like Broken Arrow is something I remember him from. I've seen him around. He's one of those guys.
Yep.
I thought he was good. And but guess what? Both of them died.
Well, speaking of cops, I don't understand how Luke, he's not a private investigator, and yet the cops never arrest him, but he's a vigilante. I mean, there are times when he's going around assaulting people, he's harassing people, he's doing destruction to property. I mean, he's not arrested once, and it's like, it's just so unbelievable if you're going for this gritty tone.
Well, they already did the Luke Cage gets arrested.
Yeah, they did. They already did it, so they can't do it again.
Right.
It's just bad. It's just bad and boring and bland and
I
just...
can't believe I'm going to have to watch a few episodes of this fucking show.
Well, I will say this. You're going to watch the first 3 or whatever, which are some of the better ones.
Okay.
Now, I'm not going to say that there are no good moments in it because, I mean, out of 13 episodes, there better be at least some good scenes. And there are some good scenes, but they're so spread out. It's like you get a good scene once every episode or something.
Who plays the villain in this one?
Actually, that's one of the good things I'll say. There is a Jamaican villain in this one, a guy named Bushmaster.
Okay.
And he's part of like the Jamaican mob. And it was kind of cool. And I started thinking like, oh man, they could really do something here. Because this dude, he sort of takes like an herb that allows him to be bulletproof. So he can go toe to toe with Luke Cage.
Sure.
And I'm like, okay, cool. This could be interesting. Like, maybe he's like, I have to earn my strength. And like, you just walk around with it. And I was like, you could do like a cool Nope. It's all abandoned. And then they try to do, this is the worst thing. By the end of the series, they try to do the...
He's getting really upset.
They try to do the... And there's a great montage of this on YouTube. They try to do the, we're not so different, you and I.
Okay.
There's a great montage on YouTube. You guys should look it up. It's just the... we're not so different, you and I montage. And it's like 20 minutes long of that line being used
in tons of different
movies. It's amazing. It's so cliche. It should be thrown in the bin, just like it was all a dream.
Right, like
at the end.
Dream endings.
You can't use that line. If you can't convey it in a visual way or a more interesting way in your story, go back to the drawing board.
Okay.
Not only do they do that, they don't earn it. It's like somebody was like, oh, we realize that the best Marvel or the best superhero stories involve a hero and a villain mirroring each other. It doesn't work. You can't just pretend that they're mirror images if they aren't.
Right.
It just doesn't work. It makes you look stupid. So it's a bad show. I would love to see these Marvel series just be good. It'd be great. Grew up, Luke Cage was probably my favorite African-American superhero, like right behind Black Panther. These characters deserve better, and I'd like to see them like get new management, get new producers, just start over.
Is there a plan when Disney starts their streaming service? What happens to these shows?
I don't know, actually.
There you go. That might be your hope.
Honestly, at this point, it would be great if they just... Because they don't even do ties to the Marvel Universe anymore.
Right. They mentioned it like a couple times in one of the old Daredevil series or whatever.
Yep. And they did it a couple times in Jessica Jones. Like they refer to Captain America as the flag waver and the Hulk as like the big green guy. But I'm like, we try to use as few syllables as we can when we're talking organically. So calling somebody the flag waver sounds weird.
Yeah, but no, you want your fans to go like, oh, I know who that is. Oh my God.
It's just terrible.
Yeah. It's fakey.
Yeah. Calling him the big green monster.
You'd call him Hulk.
You'd call him Hulk.
Right.
Come on. And it's just, nobody mentions Spider-Man. Nobody mentions Doctor Strange or weird wizards. Nobody mentions a spaceship showing up in the middle of Manhattan. Nobody mentions.
They mentioned the big event or whatever.
Oh yeah,
that's
what I love. They call it the event instead of saying aliens came to New York or saying like the alien invasion. They just say the event.
Yeah, but don't you feel special?
Yeah, I feel special because I know what that means.
Right. That's what they're going for, though.
It's so bad. Yeah. It's just these. They're just bad.
All right, I'll watch that one.
I appreciate it. Misery loves company.
Yeah, well, and what really pisses me off is I did you a favor by suggesting Tin Star.
Yeah.
You need to get on that one. And I'll watch this pile of shit.
That's coming next week.
There you go. Yeah, we'll have to talk about that. So people, if you have an Amazon Prime membership, watch Tin Star this week.
And don't watch Luke Cage Season 2.
Only I have to watch that.
I do want to do one quick little plug, though.
Oh,
a little plug. We got So I want to plug something from Netflix. I don't always watch cartoons. I watch them probably a little bit more than I should.
Oh, hey, real quick. Now that you mentioned cartoons, everyone should go to Home at the Movies on YouTube and check out this video that Alex put up this week. It's a kind of a love letter to Dragon Ball Z, I would call it.
Yeah.
And I was never a big Dragon Ball Z fan. I used to watch it here or there, but it made me want to watch it. It's really good. So whether or not you're interested in it, it's kind of a neat little 20-minute video that kind of what was the name of the series?
It's part of a series called FilmJoy started this on YouTube. They started a playlist. It's called Lessons Animation Taught Us, and it's about you think critically about the shows that you watched as a kid and maybe the lessons you took away from them, whether good or bad.
Sure.
So you just kind of go in and you review what the show did for you.
Yeah, so Alex did one for these guys, and it was on Dragon Ball Z, and it was really good. So that was just, speaking of plugs, there you go.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, it was one of those videos where when I finished it, I'm like, man, I fucking nailed it.
Yeah. Well, don't pat yourself on the back too much, Alex. I'm just being nice. I didn't really like it.
I mean, I've seen it a few times now in the editing bay and stuff, and it's like, yeah, I see flaws in it, but I love that ending montage.
It was good.
Love that song.
It was good. But before I rudely interrupted you to send people to your YouTube channel.
So I watched, there's been a series on Netflix called Voltron, Legendary Defender.
Okay, so I'd heard of this.
Yeah, I've been watching it. It seems like they sort of split their seasons in two and call them full seasons.
Okay.
So you get a season every 6 months, but the season is like 6 or 8 episodes or something like that.
So is that what they're doing with that Castlevania show too? Because I know I watched that and it was only like 5 episodes.
Oh, I haven't even seen that. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, I have seen that. Yeah, they're probably going to do that.
Okay.
But it was fine before. Like, it was relatively enjoyable. It'd be good for your kids to watch if you have kids.
Sure.
This new season came out on the same day that Luke Cage did. 8 episodes, and I can't remember the last time I've seen a show go from, it's pretty good, to, wow, that was pretty great.
Oh, really?
I was blown away. The music is great. The animation is great. The story is so much more adult than the previous seasons. And not in a bad way. It just, the storytelling is more mature.
Okay.
And they do more interesting things with the character or the characters. And it's just, it was good. It was like really good.
All right.
So, I mean, I would say if you're inclined, if you feel like watching a cartoon, it might be worth checking out.
Or if you have a kid and you want to throw a cartoon on that you maybe want to pay a little attention to while it's on.
Yeah, you might not hate it.
Right.
You know?
Okay.
I mean, there are a bunch of bad cartoons out there.
Oh, they're fucking terrible.
So, I mean, it's nice that you have one that maybe you could actually enjoy with them,
Yeah, I would agree.
So, yeah, those are my non-movie reviews for this week.
Well, it's funny you mentioned throwing things on for kids because we went and saw the Mr. Rogers documentary that just came out.
Okay.
It's called Would You Be My Neighbor? Surprise, surprise.
It's a great name.
And it's amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, I would highly recommend you find a theater playing it and go see it. Anyone listening to this. I mean, it's one of those things where they kind of go into his whole life. I'm sure they left some negative, like, I'm sure he wasn't great all the time.
This isn't like an expose where you find out the dark side of Mr. Rogers.
No, and that's just it. As you're watching it, and you're like, if there isn't something here, this might be the most fantastic human being that ever walked the earth.
That's amazing.
I mean, it's fucking great. And just his whole thing apparently was like, he grew up way back and he was going to be a pastor. And basically, he discovered, he saw the television and he's like, oh, this is a great tool. Like, I want to use this. And he started doing a show and he ended up basically, he wanted to make a kids show that wasn't violent, that like taught them lessons and stuff. And he did crazy shit.
Right.
Like he had an episode about like teaching kids about divorce.
Oh, really?
Shit. Yeah. Or like death.
Holy shit.
And like, apparently kids just love this shit. I remember watching him when I was a kid. He was kind of older at that point.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was funny too. They show stuff like, and it's amazing to me because I can't imagine it now, but he would like, let's count a minute. And he'd turn the timer to 60 seconds. And that was like a minute of the show just sitting there.
That's kind of genius
in a way. And kids would just sit there and stare at this thing.
It was like your babysitter
for
a while.
And yeah, they go into everybody. They interview a ton of people that worked with him on the show, his wife, his kids, everybody, and it's like, it's a real tearjerker, first of all, because it is amazing. His story's amazing. I don't know. There's some stuff in there that's unbelievable. Spoilers, quick.
Okay.
Spoilers. So one thing that, if you don't mind.
Nope, I don't mind.
Okay, so the movie ends like with his death, and his funeral and shit. And there were people picketing outside of his funeral, Mr. Rogers' funeral.
What?
And like one of his sons goes across the street and there's these people picketing and they're like, what the hell? What did you think he was like gay or something? What are you picketing for? And that one guy's like, no, we don't think he's gay. We just think that he was too accepting of gay people.
Oh my God.
And the point is, these people have their kids with them. So you've been watching this movie where it's like all about how much he loved kids and how important it is, to teach them lessons and whatever. And it's like these picketers, these hateful fucks, like bringing their kids to picket Mr. Rogers' funeral. It was disgusting. But yeah,
I think that's actually great that that's in the movie because it makes the movie's point.
Oh, it was
about
really
raising kids.
Yeah, it was really good, and it's funny too because earlier in the movie, one of the guys, the African American guy who was, I think he was the police officer, like the neighborhood cop in the show.
I thought he was wasn't he the mailman?
He wasn't the mailman.
Okay,
no.
Okay.
But yeah, so basically, like he made it a point of like he was seeing news stories about when they first basically were unsegregated. I don't know if that's the word, but when segregation kind of ended,
right?
Like he would see news stories about people like going to pools and like throwing chemicals in pools because there were black people swimming in the pool. So he made a point of like having this episode with this black guy where they are soaking their feet together and it's cool, like cool water, whatever, whatever. And apparently this guy was gay in real life.
Okay.
And this was the thing where Mr. Rogers, like, I'm calling him Fred Rogers. I'm not going to call him Mr. Rogers, the real guy. But I suppose he was the real guy in his show.
Yeah.
But that was one thing where, like, he kind of told the guy's side, like, look, you can't be going to the gay clubs because if anybody ever finds out, whatever. So I took it as he probably wasn't very accepting of that, but then by the end of the movie, like the years have passed, he's had this guy on the show, and like he told the guy at one point that he loved him or whatever, and it was like the guy breaks down crying telling the story about how, like he was the first person that like ever said this to him, like it's basically his father figure. It was really good. Man. There's a ton of really good stuff in it. Yeah, I would highly recommend it. It's one of the best movies of the year.
Bring the tissues.
Yes, I was pissed I didn't have tissues. It was one of those where I didn't, like the tears were in the eyeball, but since I didn't have tissues, I was like trying to hold them in.
You're manning them back in there.
Right, correct. So yeah, no, I would highly recommend it. It's a fantastic story, and it really, if the guy doesn't have some secret, it's insane because it reminds you of like Bill Cosby and shit. It's like you have these heroic figures, and here's one that actually seemed to be one.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
because that almost never happens.
And we never hear about it.
Yeah,
you don't make a movie about that because it's not, it's not like, oh, this is crazy shit. Everybody's gonna want to come see this,
right?
You know what I mean? So yeah, I was really impressed. I'm glad we went and saw it.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to go see it. It's good to go see something that just makes you feel good,
right?
And is wholesome.
It does. Yeah, it's not a sad. I told you that part at the end is depressing,
right?
But it's not like a sad crying movie. It's like a uplifting, like wow, what a guy.
I'm excited to go check it out. But yeah, God, that sounds good.
It was.
You know what was not good?
Oh, geez.
Jurassic World.
Oh, we're there?
Yeah, I think we're there.
We're there.
Yeah.
All right.
What a journey we've been on this podcast.
Well, I've just been waiting to unload on this fucking pile of shit.
Yeah.
I hated this movie, Alex. I hated it.
I'm not going to go as far as to say I hated it. It was really, really bad, though. But I didn't leave, like, pissed. I was just like, that was fucking dumb and bad.
I hated it.
All right.
The most, okay, it's not the worst movie of the year, but I hated it the most.
Okay. Okay, so even before we get into the like official review, so what's kind of in your running for like the worst of the year so far?
Rampage, probably.
Rampage?
Yeah, Rampage would be in there.
Pacific Rim 2?
Yeah, Pacific Rim 2 was worse than this. I'm gauging it on what was worse than this movie. That's probably it.
Okay, my list is basically the same except add A Wrinkle in Time.
Okay, see, I haven't seen that.
So yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't know. Maybe this place is, Jesus. I don't even know where this place is.
It's one of the worst I've seen in a while. It's the only one, even with those being as bad as they are.
Right.
This is the only one where I honestly thought to myself, like, we should just leave. Like, I was ready to get the fuck up and get out of there.
Yeah.
I hated it. But it's annoying because like there's so many things that I feel like from a directorial and filmmaking perspective it does well. Like the effects are good. Some of the shit is framed well. There's a really neat scene towards the end that we won't talk about until spoilers. But I'm sitting here watching this like, wow, the movie looks good.
Yeah, it's got a decent enough look to it. I thought some of the visual effects on some of the dinosaurs wasn't the greatest.
See, that's one thing I liked was apparently they mixed CGI with practical.
And I could tell when they were using the practical, like with the big T-Rex. And everybody's seen it in the trailer where Chris Pratt is in there with the T-Rex.
Did you see it in like 3D, IMAX, any of that shit?
I just saw it in 2D.
Regular 2D?
Yep.
Me too.
Yeah. I did a daytime showing, so I only had to pay like $5.50.
Yeah, me too.
It was fucking great. I was like, I'm not giving these people any more than I have to.
Yeah, I didn't even movie pass this one.
All right. So obviously we think it sucked. No spoilers. Why did it suck so much?
It's going to start with the story because the story is absolutely asinine.
Do you think that this was maybe written by like the writer's like son or daughter in crayon?
I don't know, but it was the dumbest fucking plot I have seen in a while.
Yeah,
I mean, it's so goddamn dumb.
I mean, it's like you've seriously, it's like a kid wrote it because like they
totally.
go to the island and there's a volcano, and then they go to a mansion and there's this thing.
Now here's where. Oh, is this a spoilers? I'm going to save it for spoilers.
Yeah,
just
save it for spoilers. But yeah, I mean that script is pretty terrible.
And you wonder what they just had to make a fucking movie.
Yeah. I mean, it's clear. It's just, we're going back to what you said. We're seeing the effects of not having a plan.
Well, and I'm sorry, but it seems to me like most people are saying like they didn't mind Chris Pratt and Bryce Dallas Howard in this. I fucking hate it. They were annoying to me. There's a scene when they first get there where the goddamn one of the characters, the beta male bitch boy of this movie.
Beta male bitch boy.
Yeah, there's got to be a beta male bitch boy.
Yep.
But anyway, he gets out and he's like, "Oh, it's hot."
Yep.
And Chris Pratt looks up and goes, "It's about to get a whole lot hotter."
And he looks right at the volcano as it's spewing shit. And you're like, "Really?" Like, really?
That was when I was like, okay, I don't like him in this.
Yeah.
And it's not his fault, I guess.
I mean, he's still charismatic.
Oh God! And there's another scene where he's like lava's slowly coming at him, and it's like, oh Jesus! Like this is supposed to be like your physical acting, like impressive, like funny scene, and it's just fucking gut-wrenchingly terrible.
None of the jokes land. I mean, well, let's just say that right off the bat.
None of the jokes land, and I was laughing at stuff that is supposed to be dramatic.
Yeah. I would also say, from a writing perspective, none of the characters have any arc at all.
The one character does, I guess.
Which character?
The little girl.
Does she have an arc, or does she learn some information?
Yeah, you're right. Nope, that's it. No, well, she kind of has an arc. We'll get into it.
I don't think she has an arc.
I think she does. She has it's like a 3-minute storyline, but she does get an arc within that 3 minutes, I believe.
I think that she learns some information and makes a decision based on that information, but I'm not sure that she wouldn't have made that decision otherwise.
They didn't write it well.
Yeah. It's bad. It's bad. It's super predictable. Like ridiculous.
It's unbelievably predictable.
If you've seen the trailer, you've seen the movie.
If you've seen the trailer as well as any of the previous 4 films from this franchise.
Yeah, don't you love all those callbacks, those unnecessary callbacks?
Yeah, well,
it's like, hey, you remember you liked the first one, right? The T-Rex is in the same exact pose as the first one.
And the Brachiosaurus or whatever with the, up on hind legs. Let's have our opening like dinosaur shot be the exact same fucking dinosaur shot that we used in the original Jurassic Park.
Right.
Yeah, it's bad.
Yeah, it's just written so terribly. The premises are just flat out stupid. Like
the characters are dumb. This is a dumb point. The crux of the movie is basically that the island's about to explode and there's Camp A that thinks that the dinosaurs weren't made by God and this is God correcting human beings' like mistake of putting them here.
Right.
And then there's Camp B, I'm going to call them the morons, who are like, oh, we need to save the dinosaurs, and Camp B is it's the majority of characters in the movie.
I'm going to call them morons.
They're idiots.
That's what their activist group should be called. We're the morons.
They are fucking dumb. It makes no sense.
Oh my God.
This fucking island now, we've had 4 movies worth of shit happen here where people get fucking slaughtered and eaten and all sorts of shit. Nobody can even enjoy these dinosaurs anymore.
Yep.
What the fuck is the point?
Yeah.
Let the dinosaurs die.
Yeah.
It's over.
Yeah. But they're like, but they're animals. And you're like, yeah. And if you bring them here, they'll kill an entire suburban neighborhood in a night.
They're animals. Some of them are flying animals, by the way. So the plot, we'll get into the plot. But basically, like they want to solve this problem by moving them from the volcano island to another island. Which we've already had a fucking movie where they show like a pterodactyl flying somewhere.
Right.
It makes no sense. It's fucking garbage. I hate this movie.
Yeah, it's really...
It treats everyone in the audience like they're 4. You can have a movie that kids are going to enjoy where the rest of the audience can enjoy themselves as well. Right. Like The Incredibles 2 or Paddington or whatever.
Right.
Like you can write an intelligent fucking script and a good movie that isn't just schlocky fucking, oh, look, dinosaurs. Oh,
It's so basic too. Like everybody's a cartoon character. Nobody acts like a real person. Nobody is multifaceted in any way.
No, there might not be a single multifaceted character in the fucking movie.
It's just, it's broken. It's just broken. It almost feels disjointed too, because like the ending is so detached from the beginning.
It's 2 movies.
Yeah.
It's 2 movies. It's the island movie.
And
like,
then
here we go again.
Yep.
And then it's the
scary
monster movie.
Yeah, the Scary Mansion movie.
Which we'll get into that.
Okay.
But I don't think that's such a terrible idea. Done correctly.
Yes. A lot of this could have been good.
Correct.
I mean, and you're talking about they treat you like you're 4. The message is so obvious, and they hammer it home so hard. But it's like, your message is dumb.
Yeah, the entire movie's built on the dumbest thing ever.
Because it's like, animal rights. And you're like, yeah, animal rights for like cows and chickens.
Yeah,
and
to a point. Those are creatures of the earth.
Right.
These are creatures built in a fucking
lab.
petri dish.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, and it's like, what, do you want them roaming around your backyard? You want a velociraptor hanging out in
it's so stupid.
your fucking patio?
Yeah.
Just knocking on your door?
Yeah.
Have you seen the videos of like the kangaroos coming up to people's, sliding doors and shit? That shit's scary as fuck. Imagine one that's got claws and can like
open doors
and is as smarter than a dolphin and can get in your fucking house. Fuck you. You fucking idiots.
Just let them die.
We're the morons. Free the dinosaurs. It's terrible.
Yeah, it was terrible. But but before we go into spoilers officially, Where do you put this on your Jurassic Park shit list? Where is this one?
I think it might be the worst. It's probably the worst. Oh, God. I mean, 2 was pretty damn bad.
2's bad. 3's pretty bad. But I kind of like 3, even though it's bad.
I can't remember. I'd have to sit through them again, you know? I'd say this is, right now, it's a tentative last place.
Okay.
And then, God, I don't know where I'd put Jurassic World, the original. It might be better than 3 or 2. I don't know.
I think this one is the worst. I think it's worse than 3 because 3 didn't try to have this like message that just doesn't make sense. 3 was just like, okay, this dumb kid got stuck in the island. Here's you know what I mean? It's a monster movie without trying to be.
And there's Alan Grant, who's just a much better character.
Well, but we had Ian Malcolm in this one.
Yeah, for 2 minutes. Count it, people. I'm hoping that one of you decides to go and sue for false advertising because he is not in the movie.
Prominent in the trailer.
Yeah, prominent in the trailer.
But they didn't show him in the trailer in any position that he wasn't in the movie.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
It's so bullshit, though.
But yeah, it's bad. Spoilers.
Okay, so let's do a quick little rundown on the plot before we get into all of the things that sucked.
Okay.
So they go and get they want to go get the dinosaurs. People are like, we got to save them, blah, blah, blah. And then they get to the dinosaurs and they do save them. Ooh, but secrets. It's the bad businessman and
the evil businessman.
The evil businessman who lives with oh God, what's his name? The old man.
Oh God, what the fuck? James Cromwell.
He lives with James Cromwell, the big old man.
He was a friend of John Hammond.
Yeah, a friend that we never heard of until now.
Correct.
And then they're like, let's go to my basement. We've got some stuff down there. We're trying to make another it's the Indominus Raptor.
And it's the Asian guy from the first movie.
He's the secret asshole.
Yeah, why is he a villain?
Yeah.
In the first one, he was just like the guy who like shows, we can get him.
Yeah.
So let's throw him in these movies and we'll make him the villain.
Yep.
It's so fucking dumb.
Yeah. And then they're like, we made a thing and we're going to sell it to all these bad countries. I think there was a mention of Russia in there. But yeah, they're like, we're going to sell this genetically created Indomino Raptor or whatever. And then, oh no! Spoilers, things don't go well with the dinosaurs.
Right. So,
and then at the end, they decide, the dinosaurs are dying. There's a gas getting leaked after they've killed the big bad dinosaur and all the business people are gone and killed because they deserve to die because they're evil business people. They're like, oh no, there's gas leaking into the dinosaurs' chambers. Oh no, what do we do? Let's let them die. And then the girl's like, nope. They're alive.
All right, you whipped through that way too fast. Lots of details missing.
No, but let's get into the details and talk about why all the details suck.
Okay, well I'm going to start by just saying the movie sucks from the first scene.
Yes,
because the first scene is trying to be the first Jurassic Park. You've got like a dark scene where you're being introduced. You know, there's people trying to do something.
Yep,
and it's kind of scary.
Yep.
You know, like a dinosaur comes out and eats a person.
Yeah.
Only difference is in the first Jurassic Park, you weren't shown shit.
Yep.
It was all like, oh, geez, what is this?
Yeah.
In this one, you're shown like 2 different dinosaurs right away.
Yep.
One being that giant water
Megalodon
dinosaur.
or whatever?
Yeah, that's in the water that like escapes and then it doesn't play a factor in the rest of the fucking movie.
Until it's going to eat some surfers later on.
Yeah. Yeah, God, it's so bad. But anyway, you got an action scene. They want to get this bone because the idea is there's some bad guy out there who wants to combine the genetics of the Indominus Rex from the first movie and Blue, the insanely intelligent, lovable raptor from the first movie.
Lovable raptor.
Well, that's like, are you fucking kidding me?
Yep, so lovable.
So the raptor's been ruined. As a dinosaur in Jurassic Park.
Yeah, I'd say that's fair.
Yeah. But anyway, so you got that opening, and then you got...
Can I tell you why I thought it sucked?
Oh, yeah, go for it.
I mean, it sucked on a whole lot of levels. I understood what they were trying to do with the whole, like, ooh, look, it's a thing. It's going to eat them. Nope. It's not going to eat them yet. So they get there and they're like, oh, don't worry. There's nothing alive here. And you're like, but have you not seen any of the other movies? Like, they come in and they're not protected by, like, a SWAT team. There's just a dude sitting. He's like, oh, I turned on the power or something. And there are some dudes in a helicopter and they're far away. And this dude is by himself with no protection. And then there are the dudes in the submarine. And they're like, oh, we got the thing. I know what we'll do. We'll send it to the surface instead of just having like a compartment that it can go in our submarine.
It was so bad. And that scene, that to your point about there's none here. You mean that no dinosaurs could have survived on this lush tropical island?
Right.
Like you've got anything that any dinosaur you've ever heard of that would need to survive.
Right. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, I don't remember if in the first one they said that they can't reproduce or if they can, but I'm like, we already learned in the first Jurassic Park that nature finds a way.
Right, yeah.
So I'm like...
Life finds a way.
Life. Yeah, that's right. That's right. So it's like... It's just like, what the fuck? That just sets the tone because everybody in that scene was a fucking moron, and they aren't even part of the group of morons. So it's like...
No, they're like, they are morons. They're a different subset of morons.
Yeah, everybody in this movie is an idiot.
Yeah, they're the morons that like you as the audience member actually think are supposed to think are morons. You're not supposed to think that like the PETA group are morons.
Yeah.
They're like your protagonist characters.
Are we supposed to think they're morons or are we supposed to think they're bad men?
Both, because they're messing with nature in a way
that makes them morons?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
All right.
Yeah. But yeah, no, that scene happens and then you've got like 15 to 20 minutes of exposition and plot setup. And I thought it took forever.
News. They used the news as an info dump to let you know the situation because they couldn't come up with a better way in the script.
Right. What did they say? Oh, there were lawsuits. Thousands. And it was like $8 billion or something they owed, which doesn't seem like that much for a company. Or $800 million maybe it was. I
can't remember. Is it worth remembering?
Much. Well, yeah, you got to know the details.
You got to know the details. Yeah.
Yeah, you got to know the details. But no, it was some bullshit plot line. And then there's like congressional hearings with Ian Malcolm. Where this is his Ian Malcolm scene A, which is him saying like, no, just let him die.
Yep.
To which you're sitting there as the audience member like, yeah,
sure.
He's been right since the first fucking movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the guy who's been right. Yep. For 25 years now.
Goldblum's word is law.
Right.
As far as this series is concerned.
Everything he said in the first time they had the boardroom meeting and they sat down in Jurassic Park and the old man was the guy trying to say like, this is my idea, whatever. And Ian Malcolm basically was like, no, you're fucking around with like you're tempting fate here.
Yeah.
You're fucked. He's been ever since that scene, this series, it made sense once to try this. And then basically the old rich guy, James Cromwell, he's got like an assistant dude that lives in his house.
Yep.
And basically he recruits Bryce Dallas Howard to go get 11 of these dinosaurs or whatever and move them to another island that has barriers, like natural barriers, and they'll all be safe there and humans won't bother them and whatever. And this was what got me right away too. This was John Hammond's dream.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there, I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, his dream. I mean, he even talks about it. He's like, I had a little ant circus, Yeah. And he talks about that in the first one, and you're like, his dream was to have an amusement park.
Right. He wanted to show these things. It was his hubris that fucked him.
It's the whole point of like the whole first movie.
Yes.
He is the stand-in for man's hubris.
Right.
So I love the scene that you're talking about where she finds out that James Cromwell wants to meet her. And it's just, they're like, oh, it's him. And she looks off in the distance. She's like, oh. And
you're
the
like, phone call where the vet, the dino vet.
Yeah. And you're like, am I supposed to know who this is?
Right. They did present it as like,
it's like this big fuck moment. And you're like,
well, yeah,
I don't know who that is at all.
But yeah, so the rich people get her to agree to this, but they need, the only way to get the raptor out is to bring along Owen.
Yeah.
Because he is friends with the raptors.
Yeah, and it's blatantly obvious that this businessman is not exactly who he says he is.
Yeah, it was pretty easy
he's like,
setup.
We need you because your handprint. That's basically what he says.
Right, that's true. You're right. That's the only reason
we need him because raptor.
Raptor, yeah. Well,
and it's like, why do you need the raptor?
And then you telegraph it's super bad too, because right when they're going to the island, there's a big military force again.
Yes, yeah.
And you're like, oh, these are bad guys.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, oh, the private military force with Buffalo Bill as the head of the unit. Like, oh, gee, I wonder if this is like, I wonder if we're going to do the same fucking thing where like these military people are cruel to the dinosaurs.
It was almost like it was directed by James Cameron. Because it's the same exact character from fucking Avatar.
Yeah, it was. It was like, Jesus Christ.
He's like, I believe in America and I believe in killing things.
So we get to the island.
Yeah.
Trying to think of the stupid things that happen on the island.
Well, there was the whole looking up at the volcano. It's about to get a whole lot hotter.
Yeah, there was that. You've got your beta bitch boy character who's like just scared of everything.
He's scared of everything. I hated the fact he got on the plane and he's like, oh, wouldn't you be scared of a plane? He's like, and then Chris Pratt says some super manly thing that he did. And he's like, we're not compatible. And I'm like, motherfucker, if this dude was really this beta, he probably wouldn't say that. He'd be like, whoa, okay.
Yeah.
You know, like it's so overly written to the point where, and I hate the idea that you need the beta male bitch boy so that your hero can look better.
Looks tougher, yeah.
And not only that, but it's like, I don't want to say, it's not like racist, but it's so like bodyist. Like, oh, somebody who looks like that could never be brave.
The little guy.
The little guy could never be brave. Right. Of course he's a coward.
But the little girl, the chick is brave.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. You're totally right.
It's just so...
It's complete, like, you know, archetypical bullshit characters.
Yeah, look at her. Like, she could maybe be a lesbian. We're not quite sure. That's how tough she is. Like, it's just so bad.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. And like they don't show any personality of like a normal person. They're both just like, all right, this is what they are. This is all they are.
I feel so bad for these actors too, especially like those two new characters.
Yeah.
It's the first movie I've seen either of them in. And I'm like, they were fine at acting. Like they did their lines fine. It's the writing that was awful.
I don't think the acting was bad in this. I don't think that the direction was bad in this. I just think that it's a shitty script.
Yeah.
It's a shitty story. And it's fucking garbage.
Yeah.
But so no, the one scene I did want to touch on was that stupid fucking physical comedy act scene.
Yeah.
Basically the volcano explodes and like it's like a rush to get off the island. You've seen it in the trailers. Like there's fucking dinosaurs falling all over themselves and whatever. And this is where we get our first example of the one dinosaur is about to eat the people.
Right.
And then the T-Rex comes and eats that dinosaur.
Well, let's first explain the physical comedy bit. So that's when we find out that, whoa, no way, the military people are bad. Because they finally find Blue, and then they trank Chris Pratt because they accidentally shoot Blue.
Accidentally?
No, it's not accidentally because Blue starts mauling a dude.
Yeah.
And you're like, why didn't you guys shoot him with the tranks?
Well, no,
more?
everything was fine. Chris Pratt like had Blue like under control.
Yeah.
And then the one fucker hits him with a trank out of nowhere for no reason whatsoever.
Right. It's like it was so poorly written because you're like, everybody's a moron here.
But yeah, then Blue gets shot.
Yep.
And Chris Pratt has a conniption because he's pissed.
Yep. He's
and
about
then he
to punch.
gets tranked.
Yep.
So he's left laying there.
Yep.
Like paralyzed from this trank. And then the lava, even though like this is not like a slowly bubbling volcano. This is like a Mount St. Helens looking explosion where it like explodes.
Yep.
So somehow within like 2 minutes of this volcano exploding,
right,
there's lava slowly like creeping towards Chris Pratt.
Yes.
And he's like trying to get out of his paralysis and get away.
And he wills his paralysis away.
And it's hysterical.
It's awful.
It was so bad. I hated it. Oh.
It was, yeah. I mean, he like pushes himself with one leg and you're like, wait, so why can you move the one leg?
It looks like, it looks like looks like something you'd see in like one of the old Ernest movies or something.
Yeah.
Like it's so bad.
That's a great analogy.
And his face, like his facial expressions, the goofy, like funny Chris Pratt, you know. Oh, it was fucking garbage.
Yep. So talking about, so they get into the whole, they get into that Rolly thing from the first one, and that's where, oh no, a big dinosaur came. Oh no, the T-Rex came and saved them from the big dinosaur. Of course, Chris Pratt has to be separated from the beta male bitch and the woman, Bryce Dallas Howard, because of course he's got to do the heroic thing.
He's got to show up. Right.
They have to be the damsels in distress.
Yes. And at this point, this is 30 seconds after he was just paralyzed.
Yes.
He is sprinting.
Yep.
Sprinting down the mountain.
Yep.
Dinosaurs everywhere.
Yep.
Dives into the fucking ocean because this thing rolls down. You've seen it in the trailer.
And I cannot, okay, I'm not 100% sure, but I'm like 95% sure. He's running and the ball's in front of them, and then he slowly, and the dinosaurs are with him, and he starts getting engulfed in the ash that's coming with the lava.
Sounds right.
And I'm pretty sure that ash from like lava is like hundreds of degrees hot.
Yeah, I don't know. Either way, he's going to be breathing in fucking ash.
Like, it's like, this was a basic thing of like, no, like you say, like direction was pretty good. That was horrible direction. Cause I'm like, I can't buy this. Like, I know it's a dumb blockbuster, but it's like, if you have any knowledge of volcanoes at all, That's not his call, though. I mean, I guess everything falls on the director, but the script could have said, like, Chris Pratt is enveloped in smoke.
Yes, exactly.
And I'd say, nope.
Yeah, I suppose.
I would say nope. That's a big nope. But yeah, that was bad. I mean, you continue with, so they survive after he does some heroics to get them out of the water.
Right. Now, quick tangent on the director of this. The director of this was a J.A. Bayona, I believe that's how you say his name. He has directed some pretty goddamn good movies. If you've ever seen The Orphanage, it was produced by Guillermo del Toro. It's a Spanish movie.
Okay.
Horror.
Okay.
Fucking excellent. And that movie's kind of like a haunted house situation. So I was getting like moments where I was thinking, okay.
You see why
they got this guy.
Yeah.
But then he also did a Monster Calls last year.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So why they picked him for this? I mean, I was glad I saw that it was like my last gasp of hope going into the movie because I like those two movies quite a bit.
Right.
The Orphanage is excellent. I would highly recommend it. Monster Calls, we kind of differed on that one, if I remember correctly.
Oh, I thought it was a good movie. It just didn't make me cry.
Yeah, and I feel like you're soulless because you didn't cry, because that movie was the most depressed I've ever seen an audience after a movie.
I think yeah.
I mean, it was bad.
Yeah. I mean, I was sad. I didn't cry.
We'll see how he feels after Mr. Rogers. We'll find out if he has a soul or not. But anyways, the guy knows what he's doing.
Right.
He's not like an inept idiot.
Right.
The movie to me looks good. Like, things are staged well. If there was the action scenes in it were boring, but that problem with that is, are they boring because of the way they're set up? Are they boring because you don't give a shit about anyone in this movie?
Yeah. Well, none of the characters, you've established a problem for the dinosaurs. You haven't established personal problems for the heroes.
Right.
And that's a big thing because that's why none of them have arcs.
Well, especially since you're setting this up to be like a monster movie where the dinosaurs are these scary fucking monsters, and you've made them like they're lovable.
It's the lovable dinosaurs.
Right.
Save the dinos. We're the morons. I love that.
The morons, yeah.
Oh, man. Yeah.
All right, but anyways, tangent over. So we get done with that. I mean, we might as well they get on the ship.
Oh,
everybody.
Hold on.
Sorry.
No, you're good. There was one thing that you said there that I slightly disagree with, in that, it looks good and the direction was good. How about that scene with Bryce Dallas Howard and Beta Male Bitch Boy as they're fleeing the dinosaur that comes into the room, and the lava's kind of separating them, and then they find like the ladder to get out of the room,
like the sewer cap,
and then they decide to put in like fucking physical comedy, like, oh, he's gonna make it up. Oh no, the ladder fell all the way down, and he screeches like a little girl.
Okay,
Isn't that hilarious?
That was terrible.
It was hilarious.
That was bad.
Yeah, that was really bad.
I will say though, to follow that up, there's a nicely staged scene where they're leaving the island.
Okay.
And you get to see like the Brachiosaurus or Brontosaurus or whatever.
Brontosaurus. That was sad until the moment that you realize that they made him stand up on his hind legs
and do the Jurassic Park thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you're like, really? Like, you couldn't just let me have a moment. You couldn't just...
Yeah, you were your own thing there for a second.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's a good point. I hadn't thought of that, really.
Fucking ruined it. And that goes back to, so they're trying to get on the boat as all the military people are leaving. And, of course, another instance of Beta Male Bitch Boy. He falls. He just happens to be running next to the barrels that are going to explode. So he gets knocked back so Chris Pratt can save him. Really? Like, we can't... Come on.
Yeah, that character was god-awful.
I feel he has no reason to be there.
What is his expertise?
His expertise was like
computer shit.
Okay. Yeah, he was like an engineer of some kind.
Well, then like he wasn't even able to open the doors and shit in the other scene, was he? He was like useless, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was basically useless. So it's like, you have a useless character here. Cut him. That saves you like 10 minutes of screen time. You can devote it to characters that should have arcs.
But he's like, the comic relief.
Don't need comic relief.
Yeah, the whole movie is trying to be comic relief.
It is. It doesn't know its tone.
Oh, yeah, especially at the end.
It's all over the place. I do love the fact that you're in a movie, and all the real danger that happens to the heroes. Okay, so bad guys are just killed, just mercilessly.
Yes.
The heroes, Bryce Dallas Howard gets stabbed by the Indoraptor's little claw
like later
thing.
In the movie, right?
Like near the very end.
Yep.
That is the one piece of physical harm that happens to any of the protagonists or anybody that you're supposed to care about.
You're correct.
That's awful. You remember? I forget Alan Grant's girlfriend's name, but she breaks her leg. That little kid in the first movie, he's getting crushed under the fucking Jeep as it's turned over.
You had the lawyer got like his head eaten off by the T-Rex when he was in the shitter.
Ian Malcolm got thrown and
he
was
got
all
hurt. I mean, he was like,
they were all in danger, and because it was the first movie, you didn't know if these people were going to make it out.
Nobody in the first movie was a fucking superhero like Chris Pratt is.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Bad. Just horrible.
It was bad.
And then I was like, oh, this could be interesting. They're getting on the boat. They got to hide from the military people. They don't do anything with that.
No, there's one part where the military people, this door's open.
Yep.
It was like a nothing moment.
Yep.
But yeah, so they get on the boat with the military people. They're like hiding in the boat.
Yeah.
And you find out that they're not really going to this other island.
Ooh.
They're taking them back to the mansion that James Cromwell lives in, because there's an underground lab facility where the Asian guy from the first movie, he's got a name, but I don't care what his name is.
Asian scientist and big bad businessman.
Yep. So basically they are planning on creating a hybrid out of the Indominus Rex and Blue.
Yeah, because you remember that plot in the first one about how we were going to militarize the Velociraptors?
Yep. So
everybody's least favorite part of that movie, even people who liked it.
So they're doing it again.
Yeah, let's bring it back.
So what this leads to is not only is that going on, but there is a group of rich people who have been brought to the mansion to bid on dinosaurs that they brought from the island. So you have a scene with the little guy. He was in Captain America.
Yeah.
He was in a Truman Capote movie a few years ago.
Yeah,
he's a little character actor.
I like him, actually.
Yeah, so do I, but not in this.
No.
Because he plays this little weasel, like, auctioneer.
He's a little weasel prick.
He's another one.
To use Jackson's terms.
But he goes, there's a whole scene where it's like, all right, lot number 416, we have the hammerhead dinosaur.
It's a living tank.
Yeah, right. And you have these mustache twirling villainous guys all bidding on this.
Did you see the dudes with the handlebar mustaches?
No, but
they looked like stereotypical, like what you would expect a Texan to look like.
Right, so that's right.
Awful.
Yeah, they're like the oil tycoon.
They're just cartoon characters.
Yeah, right. So there's a whole scene where and the bidding starts at like $5 million, and I'm sitting
for
there
the last of the dinosaurs.
Right.
These are billion-dollar animals.
Here's a question.
Okay.
Total money. The money spent on dinosaurs, or it's not even close. Or the money this movie made over one weekend. It's way more, 700 million, right?
Yeah.
International they do not spend that much on dinosaurs in this.
No.
Like the top dinosaur goes for like 120.
I thought, was it 100? I thought the end of the movie, like the running total for all of them was 120.
Oh, it might have been. But either way, it's just it's the dumbest thing you've ever seen. Oh, maybe not. But it's really dumb.
It's really dumb.
And like the whole scene, the way it plays out, like they thought it was going to be really cool. Oh, it's not.
Before we even get to the evil businessman parts, we have to establish that evil businessman is bad. So he yells at the girl.
Oh, yeah, the little girl. Oh, yeah, the little girl. We haven't even mentioned her.
Yeah, so James Cromwell has a granddaughter. And her mother died. Oh, and then he says, ooh, you could be her mirror image. And I go, fucking clone.
Yeah, see, I didn't catch that. That's the only superhero like you can catch on to something that stupid.
Yeah.
I mean, it was so stupid. It doesn't do anything.
I will say I predicted the ending of The Village within the first 5 minutes.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah, considering there was nothing there in that movie to make you think that.
Yeah, no, that's good. I'm impressed with that.
But
at least that one you're looking for that.
Right.
Like, this is a twist that is...
They hammered it home so hard because, like, they're like, oh, James Cromwell and Hammond, they had a falling out. Oh, we had differing ideas about the technology. And then he says, you could be her mirror. And I'm like...
Well, hold on. I have a question, though.
That's it.
I have a question, though.
Yeah.
Does this make sense? Because Hammond died, like, 20 years ago, right?
Something like that.
So when did
the girl is not 20.
Right. When did Cromwell's daughter die?
I don't fucking know.
So we don't know if this was like a project he worked on for a long time. We don't know if it's something he did after Hammond died.
You like how he's got the cane? Hammond's cane?
Oh my God, that was a laugh out. I laughed really loud when he got... So James Cromwell ends up being smothered with a pillow by the evil rich assistant guy.
Oh, I went to the bathroom for that scene.
And the way... Were you really?
Yeah.
Oh, God. So the way they set that up is he comes in to Cromwell when he realizes, like, Cromwell's telling him, like, hey, fuck you. You need to take the dinosaurs to the island, or you should have, or some shit happens. And the guy grabs a pillow. Okay. And then they cut to the cane. And the cane falls, and the amber, you don't see the actual death. The cane falls, and the amber thing at the top with the mosquito in it or whatever just
shatters. Was it slow motion?
Yes. I hope it was. If I remember
perfection.
My memory, it was perfection, and I was just laughing.
That is the definition of schlock and shit. That's amazing.
It was so bad. It was hilarious, and yeah, just the whole clone thing. So yeah, you've set up this clone girl. Mm-hmm. Okay. She's like your character that you're scared for because they're trying to be the first movie with the kids. Like you know what I mean? There's there's the scene where she goes and like she's running from someone and she's trying to get down into the thing.
Yeah, they got one of those. What do they call them? Dumbwaiters?
I don't know.
It's where it's like a pulley system that's in the wall and it goes up to different floors.
Yep.
I think that is a dumbwaiter.
So something comes and she hides in there and goes down and up and shit. And it's a copy of the scene in the original where the little girl's hiding in the kitchen.
Yep.
And she's got.
And she's trying to think.
She's faking that she's trying to pull it down because the raptor's going to run into the reflection of her.
Yep.
Yeah. So just another borrowed bullshit scene.
Yep.
But yeah, so you've got basically everything goes to shit.
Yep.
The heroes get captured.
Yep. And then they have bullshit lines about like, this is my fault. I ran the park. This is my fault. I trained them. I taught them that they could train raptors. Nobody buys this guilt that your characters are supposed to be feeling.
Oh, it's such garbage. And this is where they're trying to do something. Let me give them credit here.
Okay.
They're trying to do something different here. They're doing a Monster Mash horror movie setup with like a haunted mansion or something with dinosaurs.
Right.
That's the idea.
Yep. Should have been the whole movie.
Correct. Now, find a writer who can write that movie interestingly, whatever.
And you don't even have to spend the whole movie in the mansion. Eventually, it could be like The Shining. Eventually, it goes to outside, and you have to run in the woods and that whole thing.
Yeah, that'd be a lot more interesting to me. The park thing, we've done it a million times. It was completely unnecessary. Although, even though they were trying to do something new, and I give them credit for that, I still say it was the weaker part of the movie just because of how poorly executed it all is.
Yeah, it was
everything is terrible. The fucking auction is terrible.
Yeah,
but no, okay, so they finally, the final auction piece is they have a prototype for the one that they've been, like, they basically have the dinosaur already that they've been trying to get Blue to create.
Yeah.
But since they throw in a line of dialogue saying it's a prototype.
It needs a mother.
Oh my God.
It needs to imprint on her so
but
it understands.
Does everything that the fucking, like...
Well, but they can't control it.
So anyway, they bring this one out just to show it off as like a preview for what's to come or whatever.
Right.
You're not supposed to be able to bid on this one.
Why do that at a bidding war?
So they bring it out and they show what it can do. And what it can do is you can hold like a red dot sight on something and then you press a button and it makes a noise and the raptor will attack it. But you already have a red dot sight on something, so why wouldn't you just fucking shoot whatever you're aiming at? It makes no sense. It's ridiculous. And this is the kind of shit where it's like, wow, a 4-year-old wrote this.
Yeah.
And then they bring it out and nobody's allowed to bid on it. And all of a sudden, of course, the rich guy's $20 million.
It's because nobody can come up with a real legitimate reason why we would put raptors into the battlefield.
No, because it's stupid. It would be the most dumb thing ever.
Like, this is where I'm watching it and I'm like, you know what this could have used? And it could have used so many different things, but this needs the whole Planet of the Apes thing. You need to make the raptor smart enough to the point where it's actually like Caesar. That's what you needed.
And because at least I don't buy it. Well, it just doesn't work.
I mean, I could buy it because of the whole like, oh, we're genetically messing with it and all that stuff.
Sure, but you can't like connect with a raptor.
No. And I'm not saying you would want to because I like the idea of this one can't be controlled or whatever. But I mean, it's like if you're gonna do it, you got to get rid of the idea that this thing is a fucking monster that you're just unleashing on a battlefield. Like it or not, there is a conduct to war.
Yeah, I suppose.
And having something that nobody can ride and nobody can wrangle.
It's useless.
It makes no sense.
It's completely useless, yeah. So yeah, that thing gets loose.
Yeah.
And that's the rest of the movie.
Yep.
Right?
Well, let's talk about how it gets loose. Evil Hunter Man, guy from Avatar. He's not really from Avatar.
It is Buffalo Bill.
It is Buffalo Bill,
yeah.
But he's basically the dude from Avatar. He walks in, he tranks the thing.
Oh, his thing is that he collects teeth.
Yeah, that just is to establish how bad of a guy he is. He's so terrible. Buffalo Bill goes into the cage after tranking it. And then there's this like wink, nudge from the raptor. Like it looks
smiles.
It smiles and looks in the camera as it's pretending to be tranked. And the guy's going to try and pull the teeth out. And its tail goes up and then he looks behind and the tail goes down. And then it goes up again, and then it's like, why would it do this? It's a killer.
Kill it in a second. Right.
Yeah. And not only that, but that's everything in this movie.
The goddamn raptor smiles at the camera.
Yeah. There are animals in this, and these are efficient killing machines. And anytime there's a noise 10 feet away when they're about to kill somebody, they go for the noise rather than killing what would be food.
Yeah, that's how you distract.
It makes no fucking sense at all.
Yeah.
Bad writing.
So then it escapes.
Yeah, it escapes.
And then you have the scene that I liked, the way it was filmed.
Okay.
Which is the raptor ends up chasing the little girl around the house a bit.
Right.
And the little girl goes into the bedroom. She gets in bed. I don't know why she doesn't hide under the bed, but that's beside the point.
Why did she
gets
do that?
into bed.
Yeah.
Because it's not going to see her there, apparently.
Yeah.
And the raptor is up on the roof, and the camera follows the raptor.
Yeah.
And then the raptor kind of creeps over the side of the house into the bedroom window, kind of scary, And the camera real slick follows it kind of, and it's turns upside down.
Yeah.
And then you've got this odd perspective where the ceiling's the floor.
Yeah.
I thought that looked fucking great. And the claws on the raptor when it comes into her bed and I'm just thinking you could make this scary if you made anybody give a shit about this fucking movie.
Yeah, well, I mean, there was so much wrong with that scene at that point. I didn't care about the good cinematography because I'm watching it and it's opening the door and I'm like, I know that they can open doors and they did it in the first, but it felt so much more believable there. And then the girl hiding in her bed just seems stupid. It's really?
Well, I just thought as a horror motif, something sneaking into your house at night.
Yep.
You know what I mean? You're laying in bed trying to stay still and be quiet. And it was just the image of the raptor's claws and shit kind of coming up. I mean, it's fucking dumb because you don't care about the character at all.
Yeah.
I mean, it would have been great if he ate her.
Yep. Okay, so Chris Pratt comes in and saves her in that scene, correct?
Chris Pratt and Blue.
Blue later, after Chris Pratt fails.
Yes.
Because Blue just happens to be wherever he's needed for the script.
Yeah, Blue is because you couldn't just have one dinosaur save the people from a dinosaur in the movie. You needed to do it twice in the movie.
Well, yeah. Yeah. Is it twice?
Yeah, because you have the T-Rex that saves...
3 times.
What's
later
the other
on,
one?
Blue saves
them.
I
suppose he saves the little girl and then he saves her again up at the end. The final scene.
Yeah. So... Really? You played that... You get one of those. You get one...
You get none.
Well, at this point, you get none because the series has overdone it.
Right.
But I would say as a general movie, as a general rule for these, you get one. But I like the fact that... And by I like the fact, I mean I hate and think it's dumb. I like the fact that Chris Pratt shoots it. And then I think that the bullets are pushed out, it's got some sort of healing factor because we hear little clinks because it goes after it gets shot.
Yeah.
And then it stops faking it. And then you hear clinks the bullets came out of its skin.
I think that's its claw on the ground.
Was it?
I think so because it's doing this thing, which again, I thought that's kind of neat, but you need to do this correctly. But it's doing this thing where it's
it's tapping.
It's tapping.
Yeah.
Right.
I couldn't tell what the fuck that was, though.
It took me a second, which is bad. It shouldn't take me any time at all.
I'm this is where framing and cutting to a different shot to make it clear what's going on helps. And then Blue comes in and saves them, and it's terrible. And then they go down to that area that's in sort of the main area of the house where it's got all the displays of dinosaurs. And they decide that this is a great area to try and hide from the dinosaur. And so they turn off the lights.
Makes no sense.
I'm pretty sure that didn't they say that velociraptors have really great senses of smell?
Yeah, you're worse off with the lights off.
Yeah, that thing's gonna know where the fuck you are no matter what.
Correct.
And also, I think was it targeting Chris Pratt at that point? I don't know. It's so fucking garbage. It's so bad.
Yeah, it was terrible. And then basically what happens is what you expect to happen. Blue kills the the raptor.
Yep.
And then you've got a scene where the dinosaurs are all being gassed, and then it turns into the clone thing plays into it. Because they're like, what's her name? Bryce Dallas Howard's like, there's a button. If you press it, you release the dinosaurs and they're safe, but they're out in the wild.
Yep.
Like the wild is in the United States wild.
Yes.
They can go eat children.
Yep.
Or you don't press it and they die. So Bryce Dallas Howard finally gets it. Somebody finally gets it.
Yep.
And they're like, no, we're not going to press the button. We're going to let him die. But then the little girl presses the button, and the dumbest thing I've ever heard happens, where she looks up and goes, they're alive. I had to. They're alive too.
Yeah, like me.
Like me. Yeah, they're alive like me. And that's it.
It was bad.
That's the movie.
Well, and then it ends with, you see that they do another callback.
Montage,
Actually, they do a shit ton of callbacks there.
Callback bullshit.
Because there's the pterodactyls flying in front of the sun. And then, talking about the big bad businessman. Okay, by the way, all the bad business people die in horrific ways, which is like, I get it.
They deserve
Capitalism is bad.
Yeah, right.
Got it. But then they kill... They killed the main big bad businessman, and then the Tyrannosaurus Rex decides to do the classic pose.
Yep.
After and roar, which I'm like, I'm so tired of seeing the dinosaurs roar after every kill.
Well, it's a shot. It's cool.
It's a cool shot. And I'm like, stop thinking about this as far as a film and just start thinking about it logistically as animals. Do you think every animal just goes after it kills something?
Yeah, but that's the only thing this movie's got at this point.
It has nothing. No, it has nothing. You see, you're wrong, because it has nothing at this point.
Well, somebody likes it.
You can like it if you want. But if you try and say it's a good movie, it's a well-made movie, wrong.
It's a poorly scripted movie. I've already defended the look of it. Mm-hmm. From a filmmaking perspective, as far as shot composition and shit, yes. I think it's okay.
I suppose
but I hated the movie. Don't get me wrong. It's fucking terrible. But it doesn't look as bad as Pacific Rim 2 does. It doesn't look as bad as Rampage does.
Yeah, that's true.
It's not as broken as Rampage is. It might be. But we expected more you would expect more from a Jurassic Park movie than Rampage.
I think it might be more broken than Rampage. And Rampage is bad, but at least they tried to give their main character an arc. I don't even think they tried in this with Bryce Dallas Howard or Chris Pratt.
Oh, yeah. And the arc I think the little girl has is she learns she's a clone, and she's sad about it. But then she realizes she's worthwhile.
So her...
And when she lets the dinosaurs out. That's the arc.
Okay. So her arc takes place over the last 10 minutes of the film?
That's correct.
That's shit.
I'm just telling you, that's the arc.
I don't think that's even the arc, because I don't think that they did anything to make you think that she thinks that she's a monster. I don't recall, after her finding out, of her being I shouldn't exist. You need to do something to make me believe that. And also, what's the moment that she realized that, she's worthwhile, if that is her thought?
It's an arc, Alex.
It's not an arc.
Okay.
It's learning information.
Let us know on the Facebook page if you think it's an arc, or in the comments below on the website, because it'll be on the website.
It's definitely not an arc.
But
it's definitely not an arc.
That's all I've got for this one.
I will say, so Colin Trevorrow, I believe he's the one who wrote these movies.
Okay, and he's directing the third one?
I believe
which
so,
is going to be The Dinos in the Wild of America.
Oh, we forgot to mention that Jeff Goldblum shows up at the end of the movie as well.
Jeff Goldblum, scene B.
Yeah, which is from scene A, just cut.
He showed up to fucking on the set. He showed up to the set.
For one day.
Yep, probably an hour of work.
Yep.
Yeah.
It was garbage. Straight garbage. But yeah, he's there to give you the lesson of the movie. But Colin Trevorrow actually said that the real reason that he made this movie was he wanted to do what the third movie is.
Yeah, and he needed two movies to get there. Right?
Yeah, which is
not true. First of all,
not true at all. If you're gonna start out your movie with 15 to 20 minutes of fucking exposition, you could have fucking done exposition for why there are dinosaurs in the loose. Because it gets us in a way more interesting situation. Because I'm sorry, The next movie is going to be more interesting. I don't want to see it, but at least it sounds a little bit more interesting than what this pile
like
of shit was.
dinosaurs in the wild.
Yeah, and what they should do and what they should have done here was go 5-10 years in the future where people are now used to this. Instead of just doing, it's been 6 months and everybody's getting killed because nobody's adjusted to this yet.
Right. Well, the other problem is, too, with this now, is I immediately, when the movie was over, I'm like, oh, well, the military will find these things in 25 minutes and fucking kill them all.
Right. Also, I'm pretty sure it wasn't a Noah's Ark situation in which they got one of each species. So I'm pretty sure there was just like one
correct.
Yeah.
100% correct.
So they're all just going to die.
No, life finds a way.
No. They have nothing to reproduce with.
Life finds a way.
So they're they're all
crossbreeding.
They're all gonna lay their own eggs.
Asexual. They turn asexual. Just telling you, life finds a way.
Life finds a way.
It's a lesson we learned.
It's not.
Hey, they were all females in the first one. Life found a way.
Yeah, but they put a good explanation of a frog that can switch genders in the wild. At least that was there in the script. If all of a sudden they're like, they can split asexually.
I mean,
fuck
it's not
that.
You just have Dr. Grant show up for 2 minutes on set and he says life finds a way and then it moves on.
Fuck this goddamn movie and fuck this series. Jurassic Park should have never been a series of films.
Should have ended with one. That's correct. Yeah, that's it for Jurassic World.
That is it.
Jurassic World Part 2. Don't go see it. I don't recommend it.
I definitely don't recommend it. I was bored, annoyed, and then I just became bored.
Yeah, I hated it.
I stopped being annoyed because I was like, but you knew this, Alex. You knew what you were getting into.
I hated it with,
the passion of 1,000 suns.
Yes.
But, where can they find us, Jackson?
Boredandanoid.com. Scroll all the way down to the bottom, and you've got all your little social media buttons right there, including a little email button if you want to email us.
Yep, so. at Boredanoid on Twitter. You can also find me at Homb at Movies on Twitter.
Homb at Movies.
Homb at Movies.
HOMBAT.
Movies.
Got it.
Yeah.
Bud.
So that's another episode of Bored and Annoyed. It's been one hell of a week.
Yeah.
Last week was great for me. This week, not so much.
Yeah, go see the Mr. Rogers movie.
Yeah, definitely go see that. Don't see anything else I talked about.
Correct.
Except, stay home and watch Voltron. That was pretty good.
There you go. All right, well, I'm Jackson.
And I have been home at the movies.
Have a good one, folks.
Bye-bye.